Check, 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 1, 2. Welcome, you guys, for another edition of Hot Topics Celeb TV Radio Podcast After Dark. I am your host, DTEFLON on the MIC. Tonight, joining me in the Hot Topics chair, a very special guest that I've been looking forward to having on. The beautiful, the sexy, the talented stand-up comedian, model, actress, Miss Silvia Saige will be in the building. Don't forget, you can check us out each and every Tuesday night on Hot Topics Radio TV After Dark. Also every Sunday night, Hot Topics in Conversation, legends, Hollywood actors, directors, and producers. Don't forget, you can guys find us on iHeartRadio. Tonight, as I said, is a very special night. I want to wish all you guys a very happy Easter. Don't forget, you can check us out, as I said, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter under Hot Top Sex Celeb TV. And if you missed this podcast, don't forget you can tune in and watch it this Saturday live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Hot Topic Celeb TV on YouTube. Tonight, joining us in the building, ladies and gentlemen, she is a legend in the game. She is the beautiful. She is the sexy. She is the talented. She is the one and only indescribable, indesirable, the beautiful Silvia Saige is in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi.
Welcome, ladies.
Yes,
guys,
thanks for having me. A long time coming. We've been
definitely a long time. Guys, if you have a comment or a question that you want to ask Silvia, you can drop it in the comments. We will answer them towards the end of this podcast tonight. So before we get started, I want you guys to throw a thumbs up in the comment box that you can hear us on both ends. Let us know you guys can hear us really well. Happy Easter. Guys, if you can hear us well on both ends, please throw a thumbs up in the comments and let us know that you can hear very well.
Can you hear us now?
Perfect. Don't forget, guys, once again, you're in for another edition of Hot Topics Celeb TV. I'm your host, DTEFLON, on the MIC. You can find me at DTEFLON and Silvia Saige at Silvia Saige on Instagram. Please don't forget, hit the subscribe button in the bio to the channel, and you can watch this podcast in full this Saturday live on the replay. Miss Silvia Saige, welcome for another edition, episode 21 of Hot Topics Celeb TV. I want to welcome you into the building, my friend. How are you doing? How are you been holding up throughout this crazy pandemic that we were living in?
Honestly, I've been doing great. The pandemic was kind of much needed for me. It made me reevaluate and reassess and realize where my real money was coming from and where my real happiness was coming from, and I just refocused everything, and it's been a huge blessing for me, honestly.
Well, I think that's what I've said to people, you know, many times over the last year, that I think 2020 was a year that needed to happen for not just, you know, overall for just people, unfortunately, but overall in the sense of that 2020. The definition of it. I wear glasses to see. When I wear these, I got clear vision. And right. I think that 2020 was a clear vision aspect for most people, because before 2020, we were all sort of just going at this fast pace, moving at a certain tempo, not really paying attention, maybe not even on the necessary path in life that we were supposed to be on. Yeah. And 2020 forced us all to stop, reassess, look at what's in front of you, look at who's beside you, who's supporting you, who's with you, what you're for, what you're against. And also was for me, I would say for a lot of people, and going off what you said, was self-reflection. Yeah. To really see exactly, number one, am I doing what I am supposed to be doing? Am I following my dreams? Am I following my heart? Or am I just sort of just going day to day, which I think most people do in society? They don't really have a plan. And I think now that it's forced people to sort of make a plan. So for you, I want to start off, you know, yourself. I mean, you've done a lot per se in your life, but I want to know first, for the people who don't know you, who are just tuning in for the very first time, tell them where you're from, who you are, and how you got started on this path from Kansas City
Yeah.
to Los Angeles?
Yeah, well, if you don't know me, my name is Silvia Saige. I am an adult film actress and stand-up comedian, as well as now podcaster, actor, model, influencer, all of the above. And honestly, for me, I started out in the medical field nearly a decade. I spent in the medical field and then realized that it wasn't what was going to make me happy. And I had randomly found comedy through attending open mics with a friend of mine and ended up falling in love with it and realizing that that was going to be my passion, my actual passion. So I picked up everything and left the medical field, came out to California and tried my hand at stand-up comedy. And with finding out how expensive Los Angeles really was, I uniquely found myself working in adult films as a way to initially just like fund my comedy career. But then I ended up kind of falling in love with the industry. And now I have been in for 7 years and I work with the top names in the game. It's been so fun for me. My comedy career has taken off because of it, because I get to be a niche. I get to be something that not a lot of people have seen or have heard before. And I don't know, it's just been great. I've literally loved my LA experiences. I've had ups, I've had downs, I've been homeless, and now living like an actual, you know, life that is sustainable and paying all my bills and taxes and all of the above. And it's fantastic. It's nice to know that you can be on top, which is where I felt I was in the medical field, and then you can crash to the bottom, which is where I was with homelessness in Los Angeles, and then rise back up and just know that life is a wave, and it's a fun wave if you really just enjoy it, you know?
So for you, like, I mean, taking that jump in the sense that, you know, which to me I have so much respect for, because it's sort of how my story was, where I was in a place in a city where I didn't really feel that there was opportunities for what I wanted to do in the business.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, you know, you have people that have been in your life, whether it's family, friends in the beginning, who sort of say when you have a dream that dream's not going to be turned into reality. It's like you should, they all, I mean, as I said,
give up on your dream and just be real. Yeah.
People having a plan where they're like, you know, they expect you to go to school, go to college, go to university.
Yep.
And then after that, it's like, okay,
you
find the husband.
Your field, you work 40 hours a week. That's it. And you do that until you die.
Until you die. And so for you, like, what was the moment when was there a certain moment in your life where you were like, you know, I need to do this? Like, what pushed you over the edge? Because, I mean, again, it's easier, and I guess obviously in our day, like, yes, it was easier to sort of pick up and just go and do and take a chance on yourself. Yeah. But even for a female, you know, and I know a lot of females in the sense who have moved to LA, and they all come into the whole thing of like the attitude of like, if I find an agent and I move to LA, I'm going to be famous and it's just all going to happen. And then they get there and realize that that's not what it is about. Like what you see on TV, and I've always said this before, like, you don't know someone's story. You only see the glory. Right. You see everything, the cars, the money, et cetera, but you don't know what that person has gone through to get to that point. So for you, what was that moment when you were sitting in, you know, your house or wherever you're at in Kansas City and you were like, I need to go. I need to do this. What was that moment?
Well, that moment for me is it's a rather shocking moment, and one I don't talk about all that often. But I had a drug problem as well, and I had hit real rock bottom, and I had taken my own life, and I was brought back in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. And I realized that something had to change. And I didn't know what it was going to be. And I actually worked in medicine for a few years after that while I was pursuing comedy. And comedy for me was an outlet to talk about my depression, to talk about my anger, to talk about all of those issues and relate to people with them instead of hiding them and being afraid of them. But yeah, so I did comedy for several years, like just completely under the radar, doing, you know, bars and whatever open mics I could find until I really found myself. It wasn't until 4 years after my suicide that I actually picked up and left. But I knew probably right away that things had to change.
Okay.
And I took about 2 years of like figuring things out, staying in the medical field, and then quit everything. And I was like, nope, I'm going to do it. I'm going to pursue it 100%. And for me, like when I commit to something, I'm in it. Even if I'm mentally or financially probably not ready for it, if I've said I'm going to do it, my word is my bond, and I will do it. And
Well,
that's just my mindset.
I think that's the mindset. I mean, that because, and this is the thing is what I, you know, it's funny that you named the start of your podcast Raw. And that's what I love about you, is because you're going to get a raw realness and truth.
Yeah.
There's no faking. There's no hiding behind, in a sense. What I say, it didn't take coronavirus for people to start wearing masks. I think people mask all fucking day. And now
preach that. Yes.
they're all seeing, in a sense, number one, the reality, because again, it's like when you are outspoken, opinionated. It's not even, I think, even opinionated, because I think that we should be allowed to be able to speak our minds freely, as long as we're not doing them in a disrespectful way that people don't understand. Like, words are as dangerous as a bullet to some people. And when you have gone through what, just like you, just like me, I mean, as I said, I am a suicide survivor myself as well. And I know when you hit that bottom space, it's not something that you even plan, think about. You just have a psychological break that you're just like, I don't even know what I'm doing.
In the pain.
In the pain.
All that matters.
And if you're lucky to come up from the other side, you have a choice. You know, you have a choice to either say, okay, I'm going to stay in this place.
Stay in the life that made me this miserable.
Or you make a change. And it was like me. I mean, I went through those phases. I went through, you know, criminal phases per se, being in a gang. And I remember the same thing of like, you know, there's something has to change, and it's not going to be changed by anybody else. I mean, and the best part I think about when you go through something what you have gone through is when people write you off. Because now it motivates you. Now it fuels you to say, you know what? You knocked me down. But I'm going to show you exactly that I can do this, and I can do it not without your help. I can do it because I'm doing it for me. So like for you, you know, going through, as you said, you know, a drug problem and a suicide. I mean, what did you find for yourself that was the lowest point in your life that you've experienced?
You know, I've had a lot of lows. I mean, honestly, I feel like everybody's life. I don't feel like I'm alone in saying this. I feel like everybody's life hits those dramatic highs and dramatic lows, and I've definitely hit a few, and I've hit a few since being in Los Angeles. You know, when I did have I was homeless for a year. And when I was homeless, I was definitely in a bad point of my career as well. I was doing things that I would have never thought I would do in my career. And I was doing them, and I was doing them on camera. And I just didn't have the respect for myself. I think I let what everybody else was saying about me get into my brain. And then I started thinking that about myself. And I was like, well, but nothing matters. You know, I'm just this low level life. But I think that's what I also respect about porn, is when I started respecting myself, that because people had put me at such a low level. I mean, people like take away your identity as a human when you get into pornography. I mean, they don't even associate you as a person any longer. You've made this decision to be the laughing stock of the world, and that's your fault. You know, that's what I love about it, is that it did rip away everything from me. It ripped away any eliteness I thought I had. It ripped away my college education. Not that it took it away, but people don't assume I have it, and they don't, you know, they don't